live, very dangerous, severe, life-threatening. Second red warning.
But we feel rescued now.
Scotland.
This time lapse
Weather
shows
forecast
the
UK
North
23.
rising in just a few hours.
Wow, look at that, guys. It's mental.
And this was Brechin's River Street at first.
Time at the moment
And
digital
again, just a few hours
is
later,
22:20 p.m.
as the
in the
southwest
evening.
roared into this residential neighbourhood,
20 minutes past 10
swamping
p.m.
hundreds of homes.
in the evening.
It was above
Incredible.
this area here, and it was over the wall.
And it's Friday
you
the
couldn't see
19th
the wall at all.
And that's the flood
of
defence.
October,
And that's the flood defence. Yeah.
23.
But you know, it's not really doing its job at the moment, is it?
Were you frightened?
Crazy weather.
Yeah, I was pretty
Storm.
scared. I didn't think it was going to be like
Biget.
this.
Mental rainstorm.
Storm
Crazy.
Babette has been dangerous
Babette.
as well as disruptive.
Said it.
In the Aberdeenshire village of Marykirk, police search for a man reported to have been trapped in his vehicle. Near Forfar, a 56-year-old man was killed when a falling tree hit his van. And in Glenesk, a 57-year-old woman was
Crazy,
swept to her
guys.
death.
Should be
Police
crazy.
advice, stay at home.
Over the
Bloody
next
hell.
few hours and into tomorrow, we're going to see a significant amount of rainfall across all parts of the country, and I think really all drivers should be mindful about making journeys at this time. Plan ahead, think about where do you need to really make that journey. In some of the areas that I've seen, exceptional amounts of rain in the last 24, 36 hours.
Blimey.
That includes Dundee, where Jenna and Darlene had a lucky escape.
Bloody hell.
Earlier on this morning, but I nearly jammed. The club took us and I grabbed onto somebody's windscreen. Sorry. Wait, man, sorry.
They all warned to leave. They didn't listen, did they?
Yeah, no power,
350
no
homes.
water till now.
Why the love of God, I don't know. This is
The
mental.
Scottish
This
government
is
says this
this is
storm
crazy.
has been unprecedented.
Seriously
The Met
dangerous.
Office has issued a second red rain warning for Angus and Aberdeenshire, meaning the
Crikey.
danger to life continues tomorrow, especially here in Brechin.
Well, this is River Street, and you can see the water's gone down a
Wow.
little bit, but
Look
there's
at that.
still a big problem here. There's the bus stop. That gives you a sense of how deep
Whoa.
the water is. The road runs along there, and these are the flood defences, that wall which was overwhelmed
Wow.
last night. And
Crazy.
there are fears that it might be overwhelmed again before this is over. James
Certainly
Cook,
will be
BBC
at this
News,
rate.
Brechin.
Crikey, look at those trees. Mental.
Well, in England and in Wales, homes have been flooded, rail services disrupted
Wow.
or cancelled, and roads and schools have been closed, as Danny Savage reports.
Sunstorm, guys.
Early this afternoon at Leeds Bradford Airport, a holiday flight came off the runway whilst landing during Storm Babette.
Oh my God.
It triggered a
Crazy.
major emergency response. There were no casualties on the TUI flight from Corfu,
All right.
but this airport can be a challenging place for pilots to land during stormy weather.
Well, anyway, a story where it can be
From
challenging.
the East Midlands north
Wow.
and westwards, much of England has taken a battering from the weather today.
Wow.
In Chesterfield, part of the town was flooded, leading
Whoa.
to people having to rapidly abandon their homes or wait to be rescued.
It's destroyed everything we own, and I've not even got any contents.
This is shades of 2000 floods on the way towards southern England and south east. It'll be our turn soon, guys. You've been warned. If you live in if you live in Perford village and low-lying ground around
basically went waist deep on our road in a matter of
the county of Surrey locally
not even that.
and low-lying grounds like Old
Fire
Woking
and Rescue
village
Service says 400
and places like that,
properties may be
and
affected by the rising waters
Maybury
of the River Hipper.
area.
This is the main
School
line west to
on the high
Bristol in
stream.
South Wales near Royal
It'll be our
Wootton
turn
Bassett.
in the next month.
Flooded and
or so's
impassable,
time. I'm
thousands
not
of rail
joking.
passengers have had a day of disruption.
It's going to get
on
worse,
many
guys.
lines.
There's lots of
In
warm.
Trowell near Nottingham,
The Atlantic Ocean is
people
above
had to be
average.
rescued
It's not
from deep
surprising this is
water
happening,
after
guys.
they
There's going to be
climbed onto
more
the
and
roof
more
of
of this weather to
car.
come this autumn into the winter
The volume
because
of
El
rainfall
Nino.
Storm Babette has created has turned small tributaries into gushing torrents. These are anxious times for people living close to watercourses.
They live in Australia.
Hours of rain yet to come.
Australia's going to be really
Danny
bad
Savage,
this
BBC
coming
News.
summer or the winter
Labour
for
is
us.
jubilant after overturning huge majorities to win the mid-February
There you go, guys.
by-elections. With its
Yeah,
leader, Sir Keir
Labour
Starmer,
did
saying
quite
the
well.
party is redrawing the
Very
political
well.
map.
Labour overturned a Conservative
Incredible,
majority
guys.
of more than 24,000 in mid-Bedfordshire,
No joke.
while winning Tamworth for the first time since 2005. The Tories said a low turnout was among the reasons for their defeats. With his analysis of both results is our political editor, Chris Mason.
Incredible, guys.
Jubilation and sleep deprivation has all
Crazy.
sorts of effects on political activists, particularly Labour ones celebrating victory in a home counties village, Marston Mortain.
Whoa.
Red placards and Labour smiles in rural Bedfordshire.
Crazy.
Mid-Bedfordshire has been Conservative for decades.
It's the time of change, guys. Labour's taking over.
With a one-word, Keir
It's the
Starmer
start of the
is
tide.
rather keen on.
They are crying out for change, positive change that the Labour Party can bring them, positive change that a changed Labour Party can bring them.
The Prime Minister claimed he was the agent of change a few weeks back. Keir Starmer wants to own that label too.
Did you allow yourself a little jig around the living room when the results came in?
A couple of jigs around the living room as both results came in.
The gig's up, Mr.
Day of breezy
Sunak.
political change. 80 miles up the road, not far from Birmingham, Tamworth in Staffordshire, where this happened in the middle of the night.
And I do hereby declare
Labour
Edwards
won it.
is duly elected.
Oh, well done, darling.
The defeated Conservative candidate didn't hang about. He bolted it out as
Embarrassed,
scheduled,
isn't he?
while the winner gave her
Absolutely
victory speech,
embarrassing.
leaving the Prime Minister in Egypt to do the explaining.
Obviously disappointing results, and not least.
Right, your party's finished. You just don't really care about your party. All you care about is yourself.
It's important to remember the context.
It's not the end of it. We are a party. It's still a power. We will be finishing our term soon and finishing our days are numbered. You know you're numbered. The pendulum swings towards the Labour Party at the moment, guys.
People told me that it was not possible to win this seat in this by-election, and you absolutely smashed it.
Is there a niggling doubt that some of this could be down to Conservative voters simply staying at home?
No, I don't think that's right, because this is a huge swing.
Are you more confident than you've ever been about becoming Prime Minister?
I always knew that it was a huge job to get the Labour Party from where we landed in 2019 to a victory at an election in 2024. We're bang on schedule.
In 1996, the man on the left won a by-election here for Labour the year before Labour won a general election. Does their victory here again today point towards history repeating itself?
Well, it's certainly possible.
In just one morning for Labour, it's results like these that allow them to begin to believe they can actually win, and convinces so many Conservatives that they are doomed.
Of course they are.
Labour are scoring rather a lot at the moment, but by-elections are still tiddlers compared to the real deal of a general election.
Which is next year.
And Chris has made it back from Tamworth and is with me. So big wins for Labour. Chris, put it into context for us then.
Yeah, it's worth unpicking because they are just two by-elections and the turnout was well down, as is often the case in by-elections. But there's a couple of trends that we can begin to pick out. If we look back to the 1990s, when Labour had been out of government for a long time, the Conservatives had been in power for a long time, there was a whole run of by-elections. One of them I referred to there, in Tamworth, where Labour were winning and winning big. And by what kind of margin? A similar kind of margin to a couple or three of the by-elections that we've seen in just the last couple of months, with a general election again on the horizon.
Very interesting.
Can these 1990s, 2020s comparisons be overdone? Maybe they can. Economically, things are very different. Pretty benign times, really, by the end of the 1990s. Not the case now. How much difference could that make? And then politically, things are different too, because the Conservatives back then had a small majority that vanished during their term in office. They have, despite these by-election losses, a healthy majority now, and Labour had a dire result in the last general election by any modern standard. So Keir Starmer has to do better in terms of swing, in terms of changing votes, than Tony Blair did, just to get a very small majority, which is why you're seeing from him that desire that there shouldn't be any complacency from Labour, despite these big wins.
Chris, many
Very
thanks.
sensible. Here you go, guys. Hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel on Sunday Gems with the force be with you always. This is my friend Sparky and Jimbo on ITF Friday. So Hills Racer Show every Friday, £35 an hour. This is like 100 something on ITF Friday. So Hills Racer Show, and this is my friend, you name it. Wow. John and Lara Show every Sunday, 9 to 12 p.m. live on the Woking Race Station on Lara Show. And listen to my friend Shane through the years every 2 weeks on the Surrey Hills Race Show, 2 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. In digital, like 1400, the 1500 on, you name it, Shane for the Years Race Station every 2 weeks on the Monday afternoon on the Surrey Hills Razor Show. Please subscribe to the channel on Sunday. Just my bad, everyone.